From Mathare to Korogocho, Kibra to South Sea Estate, an already polluted river enters industrial area. From a bird's eye view, you can easily mistake the river with an open sewerage system. The river is already in a sorry state, and upon reaching here in industrial area, it is subjected to another kind of pollution. The studies that have been conducted on Nairobi River Basin clearly shows that the industrial effluent discharged directly into the river has lifelong health impacts. On the banks of Ngong River in industrial area, this is what you will find: discharge of petrochemicals from the industries. Experts have warned that this kind of industrial effluent poses grave risks to Kenyans.
And the heavy metals are detected in very high levels within the industrial zone area. And some of the heavy metals that have been detected within that stretch of the river are, for example, mercury, for example, copper, cadmium, arsenic. These are heavy metals with which are very dangerous, especially towards any living organism, be it plants or animals. From the studies that have been conducted, you start seeing very abnormal concentration of this heavy metal around the industrial zone. And for those of you who might be knowing Nairobi River properly, you'll agree with me that the river is heavily eutrophied. It's an ecosystem that we can actually categorize as a dead and closed ecosystem.
If you are doing a development in an area where there is no sewer, or which is not sewered, before you can actually release that, perhaps let's say you are building a septic tank, or you have constructed wetland, we give you what is called effluent discharge license. What does this mean? It means that when you are in operation, if you are an industry, we come, we do the test of all the parameters, and there are many, both biological and chemical. And then if you meet the standards, then we are going to allow you to release that. If you are in a sewered area, you do not need effluent discharge license. However, every facility which is discharging an effluent into the sewer requires an annual audit. And this audit every year talks about the standards.
Industries have been put on the spot. The Environmental Management and Coordination Act is the framework law on environmental management and conservation. It's under this act where issues like discharge of industrial effluent are tackled. But it seems the law is just as good as it is on paper, if what we found in industrial area is anything to go by. All this pollution takes place, yet there are policies, programs, and institutions designed to check and control this kind of pollution.
Tumejaribu kung'ang'ana na kupigana na hiyo maneno ya hiyo uchafu. Tumekuwa tukishindwa, ambaye tujui ule mtu amelalia hii maneno. Tusharipoti kwa chief area, tusharipoti kwa assistant county commissioner. Sababu hii takataka wakati inamwagwa hapa inateremuka na huko chini panye wakazi wanakaa.
We have a program within the Nairobi River Basin, particularly the areas where we have the industries, that's the Ngong River tributary of the Nairobi River, where we have a program called Compliance Assistance Program. Industries in this area are by and large non-compliant, but we have established that rather than fight with them and close them down, we bring them on board into a program, and we work this together with the Danish government, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and the Cleaner Production Center. We take all the companies through a compliance assistance program, whereby we try to reduce even the waste effluent into the river, get the standards right for effluent discharge, and therefore that together with the licensing, we are able to actually bring them. And we give them timelines for compliance. They voluntarily come to us, and in the end, you find that the success includes that they can cut on some of the resources, including some of them use so much water and they don't actually necessarily need that, or so much chemical to clean up. So this cleaner production initiative with us is important and actually helps also them as a way of actually having self-compliance.
Kenya Association of Manufacturers is a business membership organization. So we bring together the stakeholders in the manufacturing sector and act as a link for dialogue between them and policymakers. So the role we play in policy formulation, first of all, is participating in the formulation of policies. Then once the policies and regulations are put in place and the laws, we communicate the same to our members because we want them to be aware of the legislative environment within which they operate. So we do communicate to them the same. The third thing we do is that we offer trainings and seminars. Anytime there's a new law, we have a seminar where we invite our members and take them through the law so that they're aware of what they need to do to comply.
Besides the industrial effluent, there is another kind of pollution along Ngong River. Now, the decision to ban plastics here in Kenya was considered to be a major step in dealing with pollution, specifically water pollution. About 7 months down the line, the question is, what has changed? Well, the polythene bags are still there. Bear in mind that they are not biodegradable, and so they are here to stay. Plastic bottles that are still allowed in the market are also glaringly a big contributor to the pollution.
This is an enduring controversy. I know the plastic ban has been lauded by many people, and that's kind of water under the bridge. But our biggest problem is waste management. At what point does plastic become a menace? When it is in my pocket wrapping my sweet, it is not a menace until I take it out of my pocket and put it in the wrong place. Okay? And I think we just have to be more creative rather than reactive. And I think if you ask me, this kind of blanket bans or ban this, ban that is just a poverty of imagination. If we thought hard about these wastes, we would create many allied sustainable businesses out of these things.
The issue of the plastic ban had a touch of the extended producer liability and the take-back schemes. This has been left for further discussion between the ministry, NEMA, and industry to find out what works best. Because if you look at the take-back scheme, what is initially required is that for any waste you discharge, there must be a way for that waste to either come back to the person who's produced it, and that requires the setup of certain systems.
With industry sprouting every time in industrial area, the situation is worsening by the day. If it's not the industrial discharge directly into the river, then it is the smoke emitted from factory chimneys, which dissolves in rainwater and eventually ends up in the same river, a river in waste.